Yeah, you don't need any of that. You know, the simpler you keep this business, the better. Get it into your head. You sell a $5 cup of ice cream, and everybody wants it. That's all you have to think about. They'll find you. Your first customer, when you open the store on a Monday morning, the first person that walks in is your first ambassador. Make him understand what you got. He'll tell his friends. They'll come in, they're your next ambassadors. It goes like that. You know that...
Hey, Jeff. Tell the whole audience so that we'll do it for part of the questions answered. Go ahead and answer.
What was the question?
Oh, they all love Jeff.
Any store that you open up is going to draw its customer base from 3.5 miles. That's it. So don't think that you're going to open a store in this town and the next town's going to rush over. They won't. It's 3.5 miles on a good day because of traffic, because of gas, because of proximity. They're not going to do it. So you have to think about now, of course, any store, anywhere, if you take that map behind you, any store, you draw 3.5 miles, you got enough customers to get you set for life. That's all, and every one of them wants what you have. Just think about that. You don't have to travel to get people. They'll come to you. Quick story?
Yes, of course.
When I was growing up, we weren't wealthy by any means, and every 8 weeks or so, Dad treated the family, me and my brother and Mom and Dad, to Italian restaurant night. Oh boy, we couldn't wait. The Italian restaurant we went to was literally over the tracks. You drove to this not so good part of town. You did go over the tracks down into a dark area with a blue fluorescent light, a blue neon light on it. That's with a name I forget, Giardello's or something, Giuseppe's. And every 6 to 8 weeks, that would be our treat on a Friday night. This place was in the middle of nowhere. Nowhere. If they shut the lights, you'd never see it. But every time we went, there were lines outside. We always had to wait in line. And when you went inside, the way they did it was you stood behind people who were eating and waited for them to get done. And that's how you got your table. When you walked in the restaurant, you looked at who you thought was closer to getting done, and you just stood around their table. That's how crowded this place was. So if you think about it, did they do great marketing on picking that location? Obviously not. When you, in my course, you'll see exactly how to find your location, but it has nothing to do with population density or of course, everybody wants to open up in the shopping center with the big supermarkets, the Italian restaurant, a Hallmark store, all the things that'll bring you business, but you don't need to do that. Can't afford to do it, actually.
Oh yeah, the smaller the better. We're doing 900 square feet stores now because my average customer was about 55 years old 10 years ago. Now my average customer is 28.
And think about it.
What is the area that you mentioned?
Sorry?
Not, how many square feet?
900, sometimes 700.
And
because rent is still $2,000-$3,000. It's
yeah, but
insane.
not in those areas next to the projects. You'll get a nice store there for much less. It's
Your store was in the villages.
outside the villages.
Yeah, in a very wealthy neighborhood.
On a one-lane road where outside you can't see the lights at night.
Still.
It's a dark country one-lane road. And when I found it, I didn't care. Actually, the story was,
Go out? Okay, sorry.
when I was looking to open up my first store, it was a Sunday afternoon. And I drove around looking for lease signs. And I saw one at a used store place, you know, where you pull up the door and you put your furniture in there and self-storage. And I said, well, that'll be fine. You know, what the hell? And luckily, or whatever, they were closed. It was Sunday. Nobody was there. On the way back, I'm on this one-lane road heading back to the villages where I live, and I look over and I see a little sign on the lawn. It says space for lease. And it's a gym. It's a gym with, you know, the rowing machines, the bicycles, the sweat smell. And I pulled in, and it was 3 bays, and all 3 were a gym. And I called the number up, and the guy said, I'll be right there. I own the building. I said, okay. His name is George. And he met me there, and I said, what kind of space you have? He goes, come on in. It's in the back room of the gym. I said, all right. So we walk in. We walk through the sweaty, smelly gym with music playing and people doing weights on a Sunday. It was crowded. And we go to the back, and there's a room, and he unlocks it, and it's 5 feet by 7 feet. I'm sorry, 8 feet by 7 feet. 56 square feet with a little sink, like a dental sink, and that's it. And I said, how much? He said, $400. I said, I'll take it. And so the next day, I moved my small machine in there. I bought a table like this, and that was it. And that was the beginning. After I made ice cream, one day there was a knock on the door in the gym. And I opened the door, and there's a guy there, and he says, I hear you sell ice cream. I said, yeah. He said, what flavor you got? I had one flavor. I said, coconut. He said, how much? I said, $2. He said, I'll take one. So by the sink there, the sink was about, 9 inches. There was a thing of those Dixie cups, the sink cups. And I took one, I filled it with ice cream, put a spoon in it, I handed it to the guy, and he gave me $2. I put it in my pocket. I didn't think anything about it. It was my first customer. 15 minutes later, I opened the door, and there's 4 people there, a family, 2 little kids, mom and dad. And he said, we heard you sell good ice cream. I said, yeah. He said, what do you got? I said, coconut. He said, how much? I said, $4. So he said, we'll take 4. It's true. So I gave him, he gave me the money, I put it in my pocket, and then later as he left, after he left, I took it out and I looked at it, and I saw the money that they paid me for this ice cream. And then I knew. Then I knew all my dreams were going to come true. And this is in the back room of a gym. The back room of a gym on a 1-lane road that you can't see the building at night because there's no street lights. So don't worry about it. Any other questions?
That's it? Nobody?
This really is a very simple business. You make the ice cream, and I'll make sure you make the best ice cream in the world. So you make the ice cream, you sell the ice cream, and you go to the bank and do what you do with your money. Hopefully you'll save it. And that's it. And I can almost, if I could guarantee it, I would guarantee it, that if you follow my formula for this whole business, which includes scouting out a location, finding a location, setting it up, dealing with landlords, dealing with plumbers, it's all there. If you follow this, a year from the day you start your search, you'll be well over $500,000. It's a no-brainer. Steve has invented the machine that is a no-brainer. Talk about simplicity. Now, he doesn't pay me to do this. God, he doesn't even buy my stuff. His machine is, you see how simple it is. You pour the ingredients in, you turn it on, and out comes money. It's ridiculous. This whole business is a myth that people have created to make it complicated. It's very simple.
Well, over the years, I've been thinking what type of business to open a restaurant, coffee shop, and all that. My conclusion was probably the one with the lowest overhead cost is ice cream.
Ice cream. 65% profit. Can you stand that? You sell an ice cream for $5. Who's good in math? What's your profit? $3? Silly. It's silly.
If you could see the emails that we get, both Jeff and I and Christy, day in and day out about people who were sitting here or saw our videos. Most people have never been to Brooksville. They've never met me. They've seen our over 620 videos and decided to go into business, and we help you from soup to nuts, get you into the business. And how amazed they are, how successful they are, and how well off their families are because of this product.
You know where the problem comes in? Here's where the problem comes in. Is there a roadblock? Yes, here it is. You're going to open your store. You're going to start to make money like you never thought before. More importantly, you're going to be having fun, which is, God, you have fun in your business? Not like this, you don't. This is fun. The problem is going to be, after 9 months, the money's rolling in, you got it nailed, how you make your ice cream, everything's working. The problem is, let's expand. That's the problem. Because that takes a little bit of what? Takes a little bit of finesse to know how to expand your business. And in 9 months, you're going to be thinking, wow, I'm making $700,000 here in 3/4 of a year. I could do it over there in 3 towns. And you can. Just got to do it smart. Yes?
Okay, doing the wholesale, just saying the wholesale, the products, the containers that they actually have the ice cream in, is there only one company that deals with the containers itself?
The what? The containers?
She's asking about the containers that you put the ice cream in. No, there's hundreds of companies.
Oh, the one that I use, all these containers up here, you mean?
Not the plastic ones, the brown ones itself.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't believe in that. My belief is in 1-gallon containers.
No, 3-gallon containers.
Why? So you can put them in a dipping cabinet?
No, actually, yes, and for wholesale, for wholesale purposes.
If you go to emerythompson.com, you'll find about 6 companies that manufacture these. Right there. You deal direct with the manufacturer. They're inexpensive. That's a gelato pan insert. It was never intended to be used by itself. It's meant to go into a gelato stainless steel pan. I use these a lot because they're inexpensive. If you're wholesaling to a restaurant, they're throwaway. But the important thing is, as rents went up, as the cost of a store went up, the only way the owner could make more money was to add more tables. So the way he adds more tables is shrink the kitchen. So now the chef, the executive chef, doesn't have as much freezer space. So Haagen-Dazs comes in and offers up, we can deliver 10 of these once every 2 weeks. And the executive chef says, wow, where am I going to put 10 tubs? And how do I know 7 days from now what flavors I want to feature, let alone only having 10 tubs? I'm stuck with it. By using these, Jeff is using what, quart containers?
Gallon.
Gallon containers. Okay, so this is 6 quarts. This is a gallon and a half. But in a freezer, in that chef's kitchen, I can take 1, 2 of these this way, and then 2 more on top, and 2 more on top, and I'm only going to be slightly larger than 1 tub. So I could have 6 flavors there for every one of these. So it's a matter of practicality for the restaurant. The restaurateur is not going to return these to you. They are not going to wash them because no matter how much they wash them, there's always a risk that cockroaches might attract cockroaches, and they don't want the health department problems. This, they're going to use once and they're going to throw it in the dumpster. So that's how you do wholesale, is with this. This is at our website. It's very simple. It's called gelatosupply.com. And the funny thing is they sell batch freezers. They sell an Italian batch freezer. But if you go to order these, you use the words Emery Thompson, and you'll get a 10% discount. So they're actually selling batch freezers for me, though they don't know it. But it's not a better product than Jeff's. It's not better than this. It's not, his product isn't, this isn't better than anybody else's. It's just different. It meets the needs of someone wanting to do wholesale. So there's no problem. It's all at our website, and it's also all in Jeff's book. He has all sorts of ideas of where you're going to get what you need. And we'll help you. We're here to help you.
So the brown containers, there's no one, I mean, I know it's around brown or the white containers, is there a company?
There's 6 companies.
No, they don't sell those. I don't
The
think they,
cardboard, yes. There's about 4 companies that sell cardboard. But you're in the Caribbean, right?
Yes.
It's going to be way too expensive for you to use cardboard because you use it once and throw it away.
Yes.
You're going to be shipping every month cardboard. I can use these for about a year. I can use Jeff's for about 3 years.
no, but if she ships them.
Where
they're
can
not
you
re-
get it?
Yeah, the
Go to
cardboard.
emerythompson.com. Go to emerythompson.com, and this particular one says it was made by Pro Western. Go to emerythompson.com, and it'll say the company under suppliers Pro Western. You call them up and you order them.
I mean, the cardboard ones, what company, where can I find that?
There's 2 companies. I don't know their names, but they're at our website. But I'm telling you, they're going to cost 3/4 of the cost of this,
Okay.
and you're going to throw them away after one use. You can't afford them. You're too far away. If they were made in Florida and you were at Jeff's Ice Cream Parlor, sure, you could use them if you had a wholesale business. Yes?
So your model on the far right, does that plug right into the wall, or do I need an electrician to come in?
No, that plugs right into the wall. That's 110 current.
And then the middle model?
Is a 220 volts, like hooking up your oven. You'll have an electrician run a line for it. But it's twice the production in less time, and it's the first model, and then up from there that has the infinite overrun control. The first one is 1 speed for super premium, gelato, and Italian ice.
And you would change it yourself for a different electric outlet for another country, right?
Yes, we build them to the country that they're going to. So we're in 141 countries. We eliminated a few countries over the years. We've one of which is North Korea. We've eliminated. I don't sell to China. There's a few, but there's very few. There's 141 that we do. Yes, sir.
The 220 volts, you say you already have one that comes in 220?
Yeah, everything from the CB3 forward is larger, is 220 volt.
Okay, and that one, that's the second, that's like $7,000 machine?
I can't say prices on these videos because these videos will be out there for 20 years. The smallest one is 110. Everything else is 220 volt. But they're all American voltage. You can run it in your living room. Yes, sir.
You have single phase and 3-phase?
We do, but I do not recommend 3-phase to anyone. 3-hour used to be stronger 20 years ago. Since then, compressors and motors have all changed and beefed up because the power companies are no longer putting in 3-phase. They're not building any, you can get it, but instead of $5,000, it's $110,000. You'll never recoup the loss because they don't want you to buy 3-phase power because you're the only guy on the street using it. If there's a laundromat, maybe he's using it, a dry cleaner. But otherwise, it doesn't pay them. And since they're not building any more power plants, it's just not worth it. Everything, the Italians and the Chinese and the Mexicans are all 3-phase power because that's what they use in their countries. America, North America, is single-phase power, and it means that if you want to sell that CB350 after 2 years because your volume is so big, anybody in the United States can buy that machine. If it's 3-phase, only another 3-phase store. So we don't recommend it. Yes?
You mentioned the ease of like cleaning. Is there any common troubleshooting or spots like gaskets, anything like that that would be handy to know? Specifically on the 4 unit.
Yeah, I can just grab that dasher again and I'll show you. It couldn't be more simple. Once every 5 years, my competition is 90 days or 6 months. Once every 5 years, you replace these 2 blades. 5 years. And you say you don't even have to. Probably not.
Mine's going on 15.
The springs we like to do once a year. Very inexpensive. and a couple of O-rings, and that's it.
Okay.
And it's you're taking this apart every day anyway, and so all you do is buy a new set of springs from us and put them on, and you're finished.
And that literally is all, because I have a.
That's it.
Used to a Taylor soft serve. And it's
Nightmare.
a nightmare cleaning, I hate it.
And it's
All
not-
the gaskets and the tools. and
Absolutely.
It literally is just that beater.
It's not, yeah, it's just this. It's not Taylor, it's every soft ice cream machine.
Yeah.
The nature of the beast is it's complicated. A yacht is far more complicated to operate than my little Boston Whaler. It's got a little engine sitting on the back of it. So all soft serve machines, Electrofreeze, Stolting, Capajani, they're all very complex by their nature. Batch freezers, if you want to look at another batch freezer, it's also going to be very uncomplicated because all batch freezers are based on our patents. The patents have worn out, but all these designs came from Emery Thompson. It was my grandfather. Yes, anyone else before lunch?
If you
Yes.
have good
Go.
business and customers, what are the average hours that you usually work these machines
What is what?
on a daily basis or every other day? Or
What are we
Well,
talking about?
How often you're going to
Machine
make ice
often
cream,
is
right?
Machine working.
You can work
Hopefully, hopefully every day.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 40 years is what
When
you
I-
can do.
when I
Makes
started-
ice cream pretty quick and
When
8 minutes.
when I started, the small machine, the 6-quart is what I had, and I would make ice cream. Now, remember, you just opened your doors. When I started, I would make ice cream maybe 3 times a week for about 4 to 5 hours each time. So I did it, either in the morning before I opened or on my day off or whatever. In 8 months, I knew I needed a bigger machine because I was making ice cream more and more, which is a good thing, right? So in 9 months, I called my friend Steve and I said, I need a bigger machine. So I bought the 24-quart. And then I was making ice cream. That cut it in half. So now instead of 4 days a week, I'm making ice cream twice a week. Same 5 hours, but I'm doubling my capacity or quadrupling my capacity. I'm quadrupling my capacity. Now, that is still the machine that we use, the 24-quart, but we make ice cream a little more often now.
The Italian Ice people run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day from May 1st until Columbus Day in October. And then they shut down for the winter. So what is the average running time of that? It's either 24 hours a day or it's 12 hours all year round. In other words, the machine can run nonstop. It's not going to wear out. That's not we hand make these. There is not another machine in the world like this. That's why we're the largest. Yes.
Jeff, I got a question for you about how many tubs of ice cream do you make in a week, typically?
How many people are coming in the door? I would say on average you're going to make 300 gallons a week. And she raised her eyebrows, don't think of making 300 gallons a week. Think of 10 servings per gallon, $6 per serving, times 300 gallons. Not bad.
And you make yours in the gallon tubs? Or?
1 gallon, yes. And I use chest freezers to this day.
Can I ask how you stack them? Because we use the, what are they, the 5 gallon? 3 gallon? The 3 gallon. And a lot of times we're scooping so fast that when we pull the next one up, it's not had enough time to thaw. Yeah, to get to that temperature in the serving cabinet.
When the girls come in, let's say you open at 1 o'clock. The girls generally get there at 12 o'clock. And what they do, certain ice creams are harder than others, obviously. You take a rock hard chocolate ice cream, you're going to break your arm trying to scoop it. But you take one of the adult flavors, no problem. So what they do, they've come to know which flavors are harder than others. When they go in at 12 o'clock, they go to the freezer, they pull out the hard ones, and they let them temper on the table. Maybe there'll be 30 of them on the table. And then they're taking the chairs down, they're getting the store ready, they're putting the open sign, putting the music on, and when they're done, they put those back in, they're ready to roll. Now, the way we have it set up in the store, we have the counter, and then the serving is behind the counter, and right behind us are 3 of those. One of them is just adult flavors, the other 2 are regular flavors. Then behind the wall, I mean, not behind the wall, but further back against the wall are the balance of those to refill the ones by the counter. When you have 1,200 customers a day, now that's a rarity, but let's say you're going to do 900 customers in a day. That means that you have to have the tempered ice cream, backup for it, and then if we ever have to go to the hard freezers that aren't in the kitchen, we can't sell those because the girls will break their arm trying to scoop them. So we've got, let's say 5, 10, we've got 10 gallons of each flavor ready to scoop, ready to go. After that, we pull the sign and wait till tomorrow. But we do have 30 flavors on the signs, so there's enough to choose from. Sorry.
You're just balancing your temperatures, and it's very easy to do. We are a weather-dependent business. The exception is Seattle, which I can't figure out. You know, it's always raining there. It makes no sense. But I always tell people, if it's in the wintertime and you go into Jeff's, he's in Florida, if you go to an ice cream parlor in the north and it's lightly snowing, you'll walk to your car eating an ice cream cone. If it's raining, you'll run to your car. And if it's raining, you won't even buy ice cream. Rain kills ice cream sales. So what you do is on a Thursday night is you start looking at what the weather's going to be for the weekend, and you start planning tentatively where you're going to position your ice cream. If Saturday morning a monsoon has moved in and it's going to rain all weekend, well, don't move as much ice cream over to the serving temperature. Leave it back in a colder temperature. Or if the sun breaks out at 2 in the afternoon on Saturday and it's going to be a gorgeous Sunday, quickly move ice cream to a warmer temperature. That's all you're doing is trying to get it up to that 6 degrees.
Now, we're all, except for 2 of you, we're all reasonably intelligent here.
Who are the
Now,
2 are?
I don't want to go there. Now, if you wanted to take his statement and erase that for your store and not be weather dependent, so a rainy day doesn't affect you, what would you do? I'll tell you what you would do if you listen to me. You have a few TVs in your ice cream store. You have board games. You have those checkerboards, chessboards on each table. And you make it with music playing all the time. And you make it a place to, what I want, hang out. I want my stores to be a hangout. I want, when it's raining out, people got nothing to do, hey, let's go over to Mystic. Let's go over to Cherry Hill Ice Cream and hang out.
Your average customer is 87 years old.
In Daytona Beach, my average customer is 18.
Not in Daytona Beach, but in
Daytona is really where we're making money now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
On that note, are you still running coffee, still offering coffee?
Absolutely.
What percentage of your business is coffee?
Maybe 8.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are you open in the mornings for coffee or?
No,
later?
no. I thought about that, but see, here's the thing. You know how religious people say you can't serve 2 masters? Well, our master is ice cream. And what you all don't understand yet is that that's enough. That's enough. Everybody looks, when I opened up, I did the same thing. I had a lady come to me and she says, you know, I make the best fudge in the world. You ought to try it. It would be great here. I said, all right, bring it in. So she brought me in the fudge. I went and bought the little bags. I bought a scale. I bought the cake dome, the glass top with the samples in it, and nobody bought it. And the same thing happened with the nuts that go around in a circle in the cone things. They're delicious. And I had the thing to make it there. Nobody bought it. I put cake out. I put cookie, nothing. Nobody bought it. Because, and my fault, I want to be known as the ice cream place. That's what I want. I want to be a hangout and we sell ice cream. Coffee, if you can't have ice cream, you can always have a cappuccino. And that's good. It adds to the hangoutness of the place. Music, constantly. There isn't a minute, there isn't a second without music on. And unfortunately, it's music I like, but it's music.
It's good music.
Yeah, and at nights, 2 nights a week karaoke, 1 night a week trivia, 1 night a week name that tune. It's a hangout. And you know, when we have karaoke, people come with their discs because they play them when they're up on the stage. I don't care if they don't eat 1 ice cream. I don't care if they eat 1 and they're there 4 hours. I don't care. I'm the place to go. And it pays off. Believe me, it pays off.
Are you doing all this in Daytona?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, just your perspective on that too. Ice cream customers who have other revenue streams in shop. Successful, not successful, are there certain ones you've seen that have been, out of the box thinking that kind of pay off for them, or is it just stay ice cream?
Absolutely not successful. There is an exception to everything. I can say that nobody sells gelato, but there's Il Laboratorio in Manhattan that's killing it. There's another one in New Orleans. There's one in San Francisco. There's always an exception to the rule. But generally, I'm a manufacturer of ice cream machines. A lot of my competition has gone into deep fat fryers and ovens and things like that.
Smells great.
It has nothing to do. I mean, when someone tells me that the winter is slow, so they're going to put in hot dogs, I tell them, call me in February when your machine is for sale, and I'll consider buying it back at pennies on the dollar because you're going to go bankrupt. Because ice cream, just to use that little analogy, absorbs odors in the air. So all of a sudden, within 2 days, all your ice cream tastes like hot dogs. What does a hot dog have to do with ice cream? I like the music. I think that's a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. And with my propensity towards acid rock, it's going to be wonderful. So I like that idea. But and Jeff's business has always been extremely unique. But in the average, you stick to the business you're in. You're in the frozen dessert business. So don't sell lollipops. Don't sell candy. I have a lot of chocolate companies that started off making chocolate and also sell ice cream. But most of it is pints, because you buy chocolate. You don't sit down and eat chocolate in the chocolateria. You buy a pound of chocolate marzipan and you take it home. You buy a couple of pints, you take it home. That has synergy together. But stick to what you do best. I don't build anything but batch freezers. We are going to continue expanding. I sell a hardening cabinet now. We'll be selling dipping cabinets. We'll be selling things that are complementary to the frozen dessert business, but still within the realm of frozen dessert
Remember
business.
when we said everybody in the world likes ice cream? Can you say that about hot dogs? Can you say that about
No.
chocolate? Can you say that about women's dresses? No.
No.
It's ice cream. And if everybody in the world, just think of this when you open your store, every person you see, every person you meet, every person on the phone, every person wants what you have. Hot dogs? I don't think so.
So you want to be the guy in town who's known for the ice cream. Let's go to that ice cream place, no matter whatever you call it. Let's go to the ice cream
One that I
place.
was considering is coffee.
Coffee is interesting. I think your labor force is a big problem. You can't get labor, and labor is very expensive. And at 8%, that labor is not paying off well for me in that store. However, if I had a coffee shop, I'd sure want to sell pints of ice cream and half pints, because I want to sell those half pints to people working in cubicles in an office building who don't have time to go get lunch, but they're going to run down and grab a latte and a half pint of ice cream, and we're all going to be jealous that Frankie over there's got a half pint of ice cream. If Frankie bought a pint of ice cream, no matter what he looks like, he's a glutton. Look at him, he's eating a whole pint of ice cream. But if it's a half pint, we're really jealous, and we're getting $6 for that half pint. So
Packaging on that, on the half pints, how do you, a hopper that would fill those?
you can fill them on the machine by just slowing down the speed.
Okay.
And you still have to be quick, but by slowing down the speed, it's going to come out slower. When that business turns into a gigantic business, then you're going to go to a company called Sawville Automation, S-A-W-V-E-L, and talk to Steve over there. And they have a machine that has a filler and a pressurized pump. You pour our ice cream into it with the nuts, with the cookies, and you push a pump and it fills a pint. Put another one in, fill it, fill it, fill it. Really fast. Capojani came out with a so-called filler door about 12 years ago. It failed miserably, so they brought it back again 3 years ago. It's about a $3,500 door, saying you can fill them there. They don't slow down the speed like we do. So their first pints weigh one amount of weight. The last pints weigh lighter because it's blowing up. There's more room in there. So it doesn't work. Our system works. And our system, we didn't know we had that built into it until Christy one day figured it out. And she's all of a sudden, she's tapping the speed down from 234 down to 130 and filling pints. We're going, whoa, we didn't know we could do that. You know, so we didn't even have to invent it. It was already there. Christy invented it.
Sure.
Okay, ready?
Let's have lunch.
So